Alright guys, welcome to 6.01. Today we're going to work on finding the area of composite figures and the area of shaded region. We're going to start off with the essential question that I copied and pasted. So we're going to just put it right here. Perfect. How do I find the area of composite figures and shaded region? We're going to first start off with a definition of composite figures. A composite figure is a figure that can be separated. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Separated into regions that are basic figures. It's like something that's confusing, but we break the confusing part into like squares, triangles, circles, and whatnot. To find the area of a composite figure, divide up the regions and find each area. Then find the sum of all the areas. Alright, so when we're working with composite figures, we're going to split them up, and then we're going to add them up, and that's going to be the area of the total composite figure. So I'm actually going to skip one. I could direct you through one. You can try it if you want. I'll have the answer on this at the very end. So if you're looking at figure 1, I would go into two shapes, right? This is shape 1. This is shape 2. I'll just do a different color for us. So find the area of two separate shapes, and then add up a total is equal to A1 plus A2. And then that should give you your final answer. I am going to walk us through 2 and 4. I'll leave 1 and 3 for you to attempt, and I'll leave the answer for you to check. So looking at figure 2, it looks like there's 3 shapes, right? It looks like there's a semicircle here. Semi means half. It looks like there's a polygon right here. And then it looks like there's another semicircle here. Right, so instead of doing 3 figures, which could work to make it easier on myself, I'm just going to do it as 2 shapes. The first shape is the red shape. So let's call this 1. And then the second shape will be the 1 circle. So this is shape 2, and this is still shape 2, right? Even though they're both half circles, 2 half circles equal 1 regular circle. So I'll just use that instead. So let's find the area of the first shape. So area 1 is the rectangular box, which is just base times height. So that's going to be 6 times 5. That's going to give us 30 inches squared. For area 2, that is a semicircle, or that is 1 full circle, so A2. And that means we're going to use the formula for a circle, pi r squared, where r is the radius. This picture, I can't see what the radius is. Yeah, so when it's written like this, that means that the radius is 6. Radius. However, if this 6 is written like here, or if it's written like right here, that means it's diameter. So be careful on where it's written. It's going to tell you whether it's a radius or a diameter. So for A2, I'm going to go pi 6 squared, which is 36 times pi. I'll use my calculator. I have to rotate it because times pi. And that gives me 113.09. So that's A2. So to find the total area, a total of the composite figure, I'm just adding up A1 plus A2. And that's going to give me 30 plus 113. And that's going to give me 143 inches squared. All right, figure 3 should be pretty easy, but I'll walk us through it just in case. You can try it. If I were you, I would split it into 3 shapes. 1, 2, and then 3. Be careful, this 7 is only from here to here. That means you need to be able to tell me what is this radius, which some of us can tell. It's getting a little messy. And then you should be able to tell me how tall this is. So that one's a little hard to see. I would also ask you to find this. To find out this length, which is another radius. So whatever this radius, this is the same radius. And then use your knowledge to find the final piece right here. Right, so the whole thing is 26. Once you find out however this much this is, which is the same as here, they're going to subtract this from 26 to give you this red one. So just make sure you label, and then from there, once you find this red one, you should be able to find this blue one, and that should be enough because you should also know that one. Easy peasy, you got it, good luck. For number 4, I am going to walk us through number 4. Number 5, looks like headache, we're going to skip. Number 4, we're going to find that area of this ice cream cone thingy. So this one looks like it's 2 shapes. See the half circle, I see the triangle. I'll do the blue one, that looks pretty easy. So let's go A1 sauce, A2. So area of the first shape is 1/2 pi r squared. Think to yourself for a second, why is there a 1/2 here? Why isn't it just pi r squared? Just think. You should be able to have the answer. That's going to be 1/2 pi. So note that for this one, the 16 is written in the middle. That means we have a diameter. That means my radius is going to be half of that, which is 8. So pulling back to look at where this number is written, it's in the middle. Whereas this one, it was written on the side, indicating this one was a radius. Okay, using the calculator, so I have 8 squared is 64, divided by 2 is 32. So 32 pi, which is going to give me times pi, 100.5 meters squared. Right, that's the blue one. For the red one, this is a triangle, and for triangle, I need to use the formula base times height. So area 2 equals 1/2 base times height. So just as a reminder, base and height, they need to be perpendicular to each other. They need to look like this. They need to intersect and make a 90 degrees. So if I look over here, the numbers 17 and 17, this is not base times height because they don't intersect and make a 90 degrees. So that means we actually need to find this one. That means we actually need to find this because this would be our height. And then this is our base. 16 is our base. Right, base times height. So that means that this is actually a right triangle problem, which triggers a lot of you guys because that unit was rough. So I'm just looking at this like this. This is 17, this is 8, this is x, and this is a right angle. So now I can actually use the Pythagorean theorem. X squared plus 8 squared equals 17 squared. Using my calculator, 17 times 17, 289. X squared plus 64 minus 64. X squared equals 225, and x equals 15. So that means that this length is 15, which means that this height is 15. So now I can actually use the triangle formula. So 1/2. My base was 16. My height was 15. And that's 8 times 15, which I should be able to do in my head. 120 meters. Let me just double check that. So your total area for this composite figure is equal to 100.5 plus 120, which is equal to 220.5 meters squared. I'm just going to walk us through it real quick one more time. So half circle, that means it's a diameter, so I use the half formula. 16 is written in the middle, so that means that's not my r. My r is half of 16, so this is 8. Right here, use the formula, blah, 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 blah. For this triangle that we have in red, 1/2 base times height, but I have base, which was 16. I don't have height. 17 is not a height because it needs to make a perpendicular cross for it to be base and height. That means I drew this height in, and I turned this into a right triangle, right? This right here. That this was 8 right here. This was 17 right here. That's the hypotenuse. And I find x with the Pythagorean theorem. Then I found x equals 15. Once I had x equals 15, that means my height was 15. My base was 16. I plugged it into here, simplified, added, final answer. Go ahead and try 1 and 3 and check your answer on the next slide. Make sure you show your work, please. Close.